Imagine, everything around you is falling apart. The stock market has crashed, you've lost your job, relationships have collapsed, or suddenly you're facing a decision that could change your entire life. In that moment, who is your real enemy? Bad luck? The world? No. The enemy is your own emotions, because when the storm rages outside, the survivors aren't necessarily the strongest. They are the ones who can master their own emotions. This is the story of how to master emotions in the midst of chaos, where we'll dive into philosophy, psychology, and the experiences of history's greatest figures, so that you too can learn how to stay calm and win in the eye of the storm. Imagine waking up one morning to find your life turned upside down. The stock market has crashed. Your business is gone overnight. You pick up your phone in panic, reading the news, surrounded by negativity. In that moment, a storm begins. Inside you, worry, fear, anger, despair. You cannot stop the chaos outside, but the storm within, that is the true battlefield. People often think danger comes from external challenges, war, economic collapse, natural disasters. But psychologists say the greatest battles are fought inside, the battlefield of emotions. Look back through history. During major upheavals, those who survived and led were the ones who managed their emotions. Abraham Lincoln often struggled with depression during the Civil War. Yet he understood that leading a nation without mastering his emotions was impossible. He transformed his own pain into strength. Winston Churchill, every morning during World War II, would stand in front of the mirror and say, "I must not let fear decide for me." Nelson Mandela, during 27 years of imprisonment, could have been consumed by anger. Yet he showed the world the power of forgiveness. All of them shared one thing: a capacity to control the storm within, no matter how fierce the storm outside. Psychologist Daniel Goleman writes in his book, Emotional Intelligence, "In a very real sense, we have two minds, one that thinks and one that feels. When chaos hits, our amygdala, the part of the brain that governs fear, anger, and panic, activates. This triggers our fight or flight response. The problem is, in such moments, we often make snap decisions that can be harmful in the long run. Meanwhile, our prefrontal cortex, the rational, reasoning part of the brain, often goes offline during intense fear. That is when emotional mastery becomes crucial. Ancient Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. You cannot stop the world around you, but you can control your reaction." Stoicism teaches us that while the storm may not stop, we can learn to remain calm in the midst of it. In the 1960s, American fighter pilot James Stockdale was held captive in Vietnam for 7 years. He was tortured and kept in prison for years. Later he said, "I never lost faith in the end of the story. I knew I would prevail in the end, but I also had to confront the most brutal facts of my current reality." This experience became known as the Stockdale paradox. Be optimistic, but never deny the harsh truths of reality. Accept your emotions, but don't let them destroy you. When you lose a job, when relationships fall apart, or when sudden illness strikes, you'll notice the real fear isn't the event itself. It's your reaction. If you panic, you'll make mistakes. If you get swept away by emotion, relationships will suffer. If you give up, opportunities are lost. But if you pause, breathe, and think, "I can master the storm within," that's when victory begins. Now I want to ask you a question. Have you ever faced a moment when the world around you became completely chaotic and you felt helpless? How did you react in that moment? Did you give in to your emotions, or did you manage to stay calm? In the rest of this video, we'll explore how history, philosophy, science, and real-life stories come together to teach each of us the art of mastering the emotional storm. The true battle of chaos happens within, the storm of emotions. Great leaders in history survived by mastering their emotions. Psychology proves that during fear, our brains short-circuit. Stoic philosophy teaches us that while we cannot control the storm outside, we can control the storm within. Real life. Stories show us the true power lies in mastering our emotions. Imagine the 2nd century BCE. The Roman Empire is in turmoil, war, conspiracy, political instability. During this time, an emperor sits late at night under a flickering lamp, writing in his journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This man is none other than Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher. Every day before going into battle, he would talk to himself to control his inner fears. History tells us his journal, later known as Meditations, was not just a book. It was his secret weapon for mastering his own emotions. Stoicism is a school of Greek philosophy with a simple core teaching. You cannot control the outside world, but you can control your own reactions. The philosophy was founded by Zeno of Citium, later strengthened by Epictetus and Seneca. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." The essence is this: not the event, but your reaction determines whether you break or build yourself. Epictetus was born a slave. His master was harsh and at one point broke his leg. Yet Epictetus said, "You may chain my leg, but not my will." He taught that no matter how chaotic the situation, no one can touch your inner freedom. Even thousands of years later, his teachings resonate. Today, when we lose jobs, face broken relationships, or experience societal unrest, his words remain relevant. Stoic philosophy is not just emotional guidance. Modern psychology also supports it. Today's cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, one of the world's most effective therapies, has roots in Stoicism. CBT teaches that our thoughts govern our emotions. Stoic philosophy also said, it is not external events, but our interpretation that causes suffering. Example, it rains. One person says, "My day is ruined." Another says, "Nature is telling me to pause today." Same event, different interpretation, different emotions. Seneca, the famous Roman philosopher, was both a politician and an advisor to Emperor Nero. Yet at the end of his life, he lost Nero's trust and was sentenced to death. Even facing death, Seneca remained calm. Before dying, he said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Seneca teaches us, time, fear, death, these are beyond our control. But how we live and how we use every moment, that is in our hands. You may ask, why would a 1,000-year-old philosophy help in today's chaotic world? Because the storm within humans has never changed. Romans faced war, conspiracy, plagues. Today we face economic recessions, political instability, personal crises. The circumstances differ, but fear, anxiety, and anger remain the same. Stoicism reminds us even now, you can control your mind, chaos does not. Your reaction builds or breaks you. Imagine this. You're heading to the office in the morning and suddenly get stuck in traffic. Two options: honk in anger, start the day stressed, or think, this is not in my control. Instead, I'll use this time to listen to a podcast. This is Stoicism. Choosing your reaction, not the event. During World War II, Austrian psychiatrist Viktor Frankl was imprisoned in a Nazi concentration camp. His family had been killed. Yet he said, everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. Again, we hear the echo of Stoic philosophy. Frankl proved that no situation can destroy our inner freedom if we learn to master our emotions. Now I want to ask you, Have you ever experienced an event beyond your control, but it became either bearable or unbearable because of your reaction? Perhaps it was a broken relationship, a lost job, or a failed exam. Think about it. The event itself or your reaction, what truly made the difference? Ancient Stoic philosophy teaches us, the real strength is not in controlling events, but in controlling reactions. The teachings of Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius remain relevant today. Modern CBT therapy carries the influence of Stoic thought. Real-life examples, Stockdale, Viktor Frankl, prove that the key to surviving chaos is mastering emotions. You've probably noticed, when an unexpected event occurs, the first reaction that emerges is fear. Suddenly losing a job, breaking up with a loved one, a major financial loss, or a sudden accident. In that moment, an invisible alarm sounds inside us. This is called the stress response. Psychologists explain that this reaction primarily starts in the amygdala, the part of our brain that regulates fear and panic. When chaos hits, our body reacts as if we're standing in a jungle, facing a tiger. Heart rate spikes, cortisol and adrenaline hormones are released. The body prepares to make a rapid decision, fight or flee. This process is called the fight or flight response. But in today's world, the threat is not a tiger. It's economic recession, relationship complexity, social pressure. Yet our body reacts the same way. As a result, we get swept up in excessive fear, anxiety, or anger. Daniel Goleman says, when emotions take over, intelligence leaves the room. During chaos, our emotions hijack the brain, making rational thinking nearly invisible. Psychologists call this an amygdala hijack. For example, you might lash out in anger, saying something that destroys a relationship. Or you might make a hasty decision out of fear that causes long-term damage. After the 9/11 attacks in 2001, New York City was in complete chaos. People ran through the streets, phone networks were down, and panic was everywhere. Research showed those who managed their emotions, made quick decisions, helped others, and survived. Feeling fear is normal, but mastering fear and making rational choices is what truly makes the difference. Martin Seligman says, we can't always control what happens, but we can control how we frame it. He showed that people who can find positive meaning in the midst of chaos regain mental strength faster. For example, losing a job, many see it as the end, but some see it as a new beginning. When Steve Jobs was fired from Apple, it was one of the greatest disruptions of his life. He later said, "It was awful tasting medicine, but I guess the patient needed it." Losing that job helped him build Pixar, and later, returning to Apple, he changed the world. Crisis can break us, but the same crisis can also build us. Psychologists suggest several effective ways to manage emotions during chaos. Cognitive reframing. Viewing situations from a new perspective, for example, seeing failure as a lesson. Mindfulness and breathing. Consciously breathing and staying present. This calms the amygdala and reactivates the prefrontal cortex. Self-talk. Positive internal dialogue, for example. I am not broken, I am learning. Marcus Aurelius said, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. CBT echoes the same principle. Your thoughts create your emotions. Thus, chaos is not external. It's an internal story. Now, I ask you, close your eyes and think about the most chaotic moment in your life. How did you feel? How did your body react? Most importantly, did you get swept away by emotions, or did you pause, breathe, and think rationally? The answers to these questions reveal how much control you had and how much you were hijacked by emotions. During chaos, the amygdala activates in the brain, generating fear, anger, and panic. The fight or flight response is an ancient survival mechanism. But in modern life, it often backfires. Amygdala hijack allows emotions to take over decisions. Positive psychology proves. Change your interpretation, and your emotions change too. Ways to control emotions. Cognitive reframing, mindfulness, self-talk. Stoicism and CBT echo the same truth. Events do not shape our lives, our reactions do. We've heard the theories, learned the philosophies, and understood the psychology. But how do real people actually master their emotions and rise again amidst chaos? In this chapter, we dive into several true stories. These are not just historical accounts. They are the lived experiences of human beings who triumphed in the face of disorder. In the fight for the freedom of Black South Africans, Nelson Mandela was a symbol. He spent 27 years in prison. Imagine, a man spending nearly 3 decades of his life in a dark cell, yet upon release, he did not seek revenge. Instead, he said, "Resentment is like drinking poison and then hoping it will kill your enemies." He surrendered to the pull of anger. South Africa might have been drowned in blood again, but he chose the path of forgiveness. This is the ultimate example of mastering one's emotions. In Pakistan, young Malala was shot by the Taliban for speaking out in favor of girls' education. Most people might have fallen silent after such an attack. But Malala said, "They thought the bullets would silence us, but they failed." Fear could not stop her. She turned that chaos into a powerful movement. Today, she inspires millions around the world. We all know the name Edison. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." If he had allowed each failure to break him emotionally, we might not have known electric light today. Here lies a truth. Chaos is not the end. Every failure is a chance to learn and try again. Oprah's life began in profound darkness, marked by childhood poverty, sexual abuse, and social inequality. Yet, she refused to let her emotions defeat her. Instead, that pain became the source of her empathy. Today, she is one of the world's most influential women, bringing light to millions. She herself said, "Turn your wounds into wisdom." We've already mentioned Admiral James Stockdale. While a prisoner of war in Vietnam, he endured daily torture. Yet he survived because he accepted reality while never losing hope. He knew death could come today or tomorrow. Yet he believed that freedom would come eventually. This mindset is known as the Stockdale paradox. Acknowledging reality while holding on to hope, that was his secret to survival. Psychologists explain that resilience, the power to endure adversity, stands on 4 pillars: meaning, finding purpose even in suffering; flexibility, adapting without breaking; connection, support from family, friends, or community; hope, maintaining a positive belief in the future. These 4 pillars helped Mandela, Malala, Oprah, and Stockdale all conquer chaos. Now I want to ask you, have you ever experienced a moment when it felt like everything was over? Perhaps failing an important exam, perhaps losing a loved one, perhaps losing a job and feeling empty inside. In those moments, you may have felt fear, anger, or despair. But didn't those moments make you stronger? Didn't they rebuild you? If the answer is yes, then you've already tasted resilience. Mandela proved that forgiveness is stronger than revenge. Malala showed that conquering fear can change the world. Edison demonstrated that failure is education. Oprah's life shows that pain can be transformed into wisdom. Stockdale taught that it is possible to accept reality while keeping hope alive. Resilience is built through purpose, adaptability, relationships, and hope. Many people think anger just comes out of nowhere, fear is uncontrollable, and sadness can't be stopped. But modern neuroscience and psychology have proven, yes, emotions can be controlled. Not only that, they can be learned and practiced. Now, comma. We will explore how our brain generates emotions and what scientific techniques allow us to remain calm, even in chaos. 2. Key parts of our brain work in emotional processing. Amygdala. This is our brain's emotional alarm system. Fear, anger, and panic originate here. It activates instantly in the face of danger. Prefrontal cortex. This is our rational brain, responsible for decision-making, planning, and analyzing emotions. The problem is, in chaotic situations, the amygdala fires rapidly, while the prefrontal cortex temporarily goes offline. This is called an amygdala hijack. Psychologists say. Emotional. Mastery doesn't mean erasing emotions. It means managing them. Fear will be there, anger will arise, sadness will appear. But how you channel these into reactions is under your control. This is also called cognitive reappraisal. Example, suppose you lose your job. If you think, my life is over, despair will grow. But if you think, this is a door to new opportunities, hope arises. Research proves using cognitive reappraisal reduces sadness and increases positivity. Harvard studies show regular mindfulness meditation shrinks the amygdala and strengthens the prefrontal cortex, meaning fear and anger decrease and rational thinking improves. A simple practice: close your eyes, take deep breaths, focus only on your breathing. Just 5-10 minutes a day can help regulate emotions. Breathing is the key to emotional control because breath directly influences the nervous system. Slow, deep breaths activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which calms the body. The 4-7-8 technique, proposed by Dr. Andrew Weil. 4 seconds inhale, 7 seconds hold, 8 seconds exhale. This immediately helps reduce anger and fear. Stanford University research shows writing down your feelings for a few minutes a day significantly lowers stress. Angry. Write, why am I angry right now? Afraid? Write, what exactly am I afraid of? Writing clarifies unclear emotions and calms the brain. Psychologists also note, emotions are harder to manage alone, but easier when shared. Talk to a loved one, share with a friend, or discuss with a therapist. These reduce amygdala activity and bring mental calm. During his imprisonment in a Nazi concentration camp, psychologist Viktor Frankl lost almost everything. Yet he demonstrated extraordinary emotional mastery. He said, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our power to choose our response. Meaning, events are not under our control, but our reactions are entirely our own. Now, try a small exercise. Recall the last time you snapped in anger. Imagine taking a deep breath and waiting 10 seconds before reacting. Would your response have been different? This small difference is the key to emotional mastery. Emotions are generated by the amygdala and controlled by the prefrontal cortex. Emotional mastery means not suppressing emotions, but choosing your reactions. Effective strategies include cognitive reappraisal, rethinking your perspective, mindfulness meditation, breathing techniques, journaling, social support. Viktor Frankl proved, our reactions are our true strength. Many times we talk about controlling emotions, but we rarely ask, why do we feel the way we do? If we only learn techniques but don't understand our mental framework, then in moments of chaos, breathing exercises or meditation might help temporarily, but they won't bring lasting calm. Philosophy teaches us, true power comes from transforming the mind. Stoicism is an ancient Greek and Roman philosophy that teaches we control only our thoughts and reactions, not the world or other people. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The Stoics saw emotions like fear, anger, and greed as things to be managed through response. their core teachings. Control what you can, accept what you cannot. External events are neutral. Our judgments, make them positive or negative. Buddhism also teaches emotions are the result of thought. Buddhists use mindfulness or awakened awareness to recognize that hunger, anger, fear, sadness, all are temporary. If we remain conscious, they cannot control us. Example, when anger arises, simply think, it's coming, it will pass. I am not defined by it. This reduces anger and activates the prefrontal cortex. Modern psychology confirms mindset and cognitive framing are powerful. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, is a modern technique that works much like Stoicism. What we think shapes how we feel. It's not just about breathing or journaling. Cognitive reframing is essential. Eleanor Roosevelt, an influential American leader and writer, faced harsh political and personal challenges. Political pressure often brought despair, yet she wrote, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent," meaning the power over your emotions is in your hands. Eleanor lived by this principle. External events can't be controlled, but her reactions always could. Practice at least 5 minutes daily. What event affected me today? How did I respond? How would Stoic mindfulness have changed my reaction? Research shows this kind of philosophical reflection reduces stress and depression. Example, someone mistreats you. Stoicism says they act according to their emotions. It's not a personal attack. Psychology adds, using empathy keeps you calm. The ultimate lesson, emotions don't come from outside. They arise from our mental interpretation. Marcus Aurelius wrote daily, you can too. If I feel anger, fear, or frustration today, how can I manage it? External events aren't under my control, so where is my power? This is the modern form of the CBT thought record. Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon, made tough decisions, millions of dollars at risk, fierce business competition. He said, disagree and commit, meaning, even with fear or emotion, make rational decisions. Here we see, philosophy plus rational thinking equals emotional mastery. A small practice, recall a recent emotional moment. Write down, what happened? How did you feel? According to Stoicism or mindfulness, how could you have responded? Do this practice daily. It's highly effective for mental resilience and emotional control. Philosophy teaches, external events can't be controlled. Reactions can. Stoicism plus Buddhist thought plus modern CBT equals emotional mastery. Real-world examples, Eleanor Roosevelt, Jeff Bezos. Techniques, philosophical journaling, perspective shifting, daily Stoic practice. The human brain relies on up to 90% automatic behavior. When emotions run high, we often make poor decisions. But if our habits are strong, even in moments of crisis, our natural responses remain calm and rational. According to James Clear in Atomic Habits, habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. This means small habits over time have a huge impact on emotional control. The first hour of your morning sets the mental tone for the day. Meditation or mindful breathing, 10-15 minutes. Journaling, which emotion do I want to master today? Visualization, mental preparation for difficult situations. Oprah Winfrey said, her daily morning meditation and journaling kept her grounded. When faced with pressure from journalists or personal challenges, she remained calm. At the end of each day, spend 5-10 minutes reflecting. When did emotions run high? How did I respond? Which habits helped me? And which hindered me? Stephen Covey said, self-awareness is the first step to mastery. Bill Gates liked to reflect at the end of his day. He would write, what went right, what went wrong. This practice trained his brain to respond appropriately. A strong mind goes hand in hand with a healthy body. Regular exercise reduces stress hormones, cortisol, boosts endorphins, improves mood. Regular routines strengthen discipline, facilitate emotional mastery. Arnold Schwarzenegger followed strict exercise and routines. Despite political pressures and the demands of the film industry, he remained composed. Social media and online distractions can destabilize emotions quickly. Cal Newport in Digital Minimalism advises, be online only at designated times. Use offline time for reflection or reading. Elon Musk stated, uncontrolled social media usage affects decision-making. That's why he limits his online activity to essential periods. Learning emotional control sometimes requires deliberate discomfort. Cold showers, intermittent fasting, tough conversations, all train the mind. Navy SEALs and Special Forces use these practices in training, habituating the mind to endure hardship. Easier emotional control under stress. Michelle Obama, as First Lady, faced constant scrutiny and criticism. She used daily journaling and a morning mindset routine to stay grounded. Her calm and rational demeanor under pressure was the result of practiced habits. Lesson: small daily habits are the foundation of emotional mastery. Habit implementation plan. 1. Start a habit. Begin small. 2. Habit stacking. Attach it to an existing routine. 3. Track progress. Use a journal or habit tracker. 4. Reflect and adjust. Weekly evening reflection. 5. Consistency over intensity. Daily habits are the key to lasting change. Challenge: start a habit today. Morning, 10 minutes meditation plus journaling. Evening, reflection plus 5 minutes mindfulness. Goal: maintain the routine for 1 week. Observe the results. Lower stress, improved emotional control. Habit = emotional resilience. Morning routine, evening reflection, physical conditioning. Digital minimalism plus deliberate discomfort. Real-world examples: Oprah, Michelle. Obama, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Key: consistency plus reflection. How crisis affects emotions. Unexpected moments happen in life. A major presentation, personal setbacks, or an economic crisis. At such times, our amygdala, the center for fear and emotions, becomes active. Our reasoning and decision-making ability temporarily decreases. When emotions run high, we can make quick mistakes. Psychology: stress plus threat, fight or flight response, prefrontal cortex, reasoning, planning, temporarily underactive, preparation and habits beforehand are critical. Key strategy: 1. Pause and breathe. Taking a conscious pause during a crisis is one of the most powerful tools. 5 minutes of deep breathing. Remind your mind, this is a crisis, but I can stay calm. Lowers heart rate and cortisol. Example: Jeff Bezos always takes a pause before making difficult decisions. One major Amazon decision was made purely with a calm mind. Psychology: controlled breathing, vagus nerve activation, calm mind. Key strategy: 2. Perspective shift. Assess the true magnitude of the crisis. Will this matter in 5 days? 5 months? 5 years? Treat problems or stress as temporary. Easier emotional control. Example: Barack Obama often used micro-rests and perspective shifts during Oval Office pressures. He said, it's about separating what you can control from what you cannot. Key strategy: 3. Focus on actionable steps during a crisis. Focus only on what you can act upon. Create a list of actionable steps. Take small, manageable actions. Reduces overwhelm and keeps the mind steady. Example: Elon Musk handled Tesla's losses by breaking work into steps. Even in major setbacks, he follows a step-by-step approach. Key strategy 4. Emotional anchoring. Use your calm memories or empowering experiences. Example: childhood moments, personal achievements, mentor advice. These memories stabilize the mind during high-pressure moments. Psychology. Anchoring reduces amygdala activity, cognitive reappraisal, controls emotional response. Real story. Angela Merkel. As German Chancellor, Angela Merkel faced numerous international crises. Refugee crisis, Eurozone debt crisis. She remained composed throughout. Her approach. 1. Pause and analyze. 2. Data-driven decisions. 3. Consult trusted advisors. Through emotional control and balanced reasoning, she made tough decisions effectively. Key strategy 5. Visualization and mental rehearsal. Mentally rehearse difficult situations in advance. Mindful visualization prepares you for crisis mode. This reduces panic during actual crises. Example: Navy SEALs and top athletes use visualization to maintain optimal performance under pressure. Practical life exercise 1. Daily. Mini crisis simulation. Practice solving small problems. 2. Evening reflection. Which strategies worked, which failed. 3. Emergency toolkit. Have breathing, perspective shift, and actionable steps. Ready challenge. For the next 7 days, consciously manage a small pressure moment each day. Record outcomes. Track progress in emotional mastery. Emotions and relationships. We all know, the foundation of human relationships is emotion. Family, friends, colleagues, or romantic partners, emotions play a huge role. Without emotional control, even small misunderstandings can escalate into major conflicts. Psychology. According to Daniel Goleman's Emotional Intelligence (EI) framework. 1. Self-awareness. Recognize your own emotions. 2. Self-regulation. Manage your emotions. 3. Motivation. Channel emotions toward purposeful goals. 4. Empathy. Understand others' feelings. 5. Social skills. Manage relationships effectively. Key strategy. 1. Self-awareness in conversations. Identify your emotions during interactions. Example: anger, frustration, impatience, awareness reduces immediate reaction. Example: Oprah Winfrey has repeatedly said, "Knowing my triggers helped me handle tense interviews calmly." When faced with tough questions from guests, she would consciously calm her mind before responding. Key strategy 2. Empathy and active listening. Don't just listen. Try to feel what the other person feels. Immerse yourself in their emotions. Adopt a mental frame. I understand how you feel. Example: Barack Obama used active listening with diplomats and staff. Even with complaints or tension, he first sought to understand, then acted. Psychology. Empathy activates mirror neurons, builds trust. Active listening reduces misunderstandings. Key strategy. 3. Self-regulation in conflict. During conflict, don't respond impulsively. Control your reactions. Techniques: pause and count to 5. Perspective shift. Maintain calm tone and body language. Example: Bill Gates applied emotional regulation during workplace conflicts. He said, "If I react in anger, I lose clarity and solutions." Key strategy 4. Feedback and constructive criticism. Giving feedback is crucial in relationships and workplaces, but expression must be controlled. Use "I feel" statements. Start dialogue without being accusatory. Example: Sheryl Sandberg, Facebook COO, applied EI in her feedback culture. She said, Feedback is most effective when emotions are acknowledged and controlled. Real story. Nelson Mandela. Even after many years in prison, Nelson Mandela's leadership showed extraordinary emotional intelligence. He never showed anger during dialogues with white South African leaders. Key strategies. 1. Empathy. Understand others' perspective. 2. Self-regulation. Control emotions. 3. Focus on long-term goal. National reconciliation. Key strategy. 5. Emotional anchoring in relationships. Keep positive experiences in memory. During tense moments, recall positive memories. Control your reaction. Example. Richard Branson said, "I anchor myself to past successes and team trust when conflicts arise." Anchoring reduces anxiety, facilitates collaborative problem solving. Practical life. Exercise 1. Daily relationship check-in. Spend 5 minutes daily reflecting on your emotional connection with others. 2. Conflict simulation. Practice strategies. During minor conflicts. 3. Gratitude practice. Showing appreciation strengthens mental peace challenge. Over the next 7 days, consciously apply EI in interactions with one person daily. Record outcomes and track personal growth. Throughout life, we face challenges at every stage. Family issues, workplace pressure, personal failures, or social unrest. When these stresses persist over time, momentary emotional control isn't enough. We need emotional resilience, the ability to maintain long-term mental stability. Psychology tells us that emotional resilience helps us recover quickly from stressful situations. Neuroplasticity enables our brain to learn new habits and modify emotional responses. Hormone regulation, particularly of cortisol and adrenaline, reduces stress. Key strategy. 1. Mindful awareness practice, daily mindfulness or meditation. The goal is to understand the source of your emotions and keep them in check. Example. Ariana Huffington practiced morning meditation to calm her mind. She said, "Mindfulness helps me respond instead of react." Science shows that mindfulness activates the prefrontal cortex, improves decision-making, and reduces amygdala activation, meaning fear and anger decrease. Key strategy 2. Cognitive reframing. Learn from setbacks or failures. Reevaluate situations and think, "This challenge is an opportunity." Example. Thomas Edison, after 1,000 failed experiments, said, "I didn't fail. I found 1,000 ways that won't work." Cognitive reframing builds a growth mindset and strengthens resilience. Key strategy 3. Self-compassion. Be kind to yourself instead of harshly judging mistakes. Failure means learning, not shame. Example. Michelle Obama managed her emotional state without blaming herself despite hard work and challenges. Science shows that self-compassion reduces anxiety and depression and increases oxytocin, fostering a positive emotional state. Key strategy. 4. Strong support. Network. Friends, family, mentors, or peers act as an emotional buffer. Stay connected even without discussing problems. Example. Elon Musk leaned on close friends and mentors during early career failures. Mentorship helps with stress management and provides perspective. Key strategy. 5. Physical health and energy management. Sleep, exercise, and nutrition directly affect emotional resilience. Chronic sleep deprivation raises stress hormones while regular exercise increases endorphins and improves mood. Example. Richard Branson exercises 6 times a day to maintain mental clarity and manage stress. Real story. Viktor Frankl. During the Holocaust, Viktor Frankl maintained mental strength despite limited freedom. His key strategies were: 1. Purpose. A life goal helps navigate extreme adversity. 2. Mindset. Focus on controllable reactions. 3. Compassion. Maintain relationships with fellow prisoners. Lesson. Even if external circumstances don't change, our reactions are within our control. Daily practices. 1. Daily reflection. Spend 10 minutes at night thinking, in which situations did I maintain emotional control today? 2. Stress journal. Record stressful events. What did I feel? What did I learn? 3. Gratitude list. Write 3 positive moments daily to foster long-term optimism. Challenge. For the next 30 days, practice at least 5 minutes of mindfulness and daily reflection each day. Goal. Maintain mental clarity even in adverse situations.